Let's have a look. This is a 6-year-old. And she was asked to draw a map from her house through to her school. She did quite well with it, actually. You can see she's got a walking track there. She's done the roads, the walking track. This is the walking track to school. And things she had to remember. She had to remember she could go around either way of the set of trees there. It didn't matter. But that's her house. There's a car tent. It was very important at this stage because it had only been put in 2 weeks earlier. So it was important to her. It went down. Can you see bird's eye view? We don't get perspective. We flatten things. That's bird's eye view. Go back to your Egyptians. They do bird's eye view very well. Okay? Also, school was there, but actually after school care was more fun. And that was just as important, if not more so, than school. So that went there. And her sister went to preschool, so that was important as well. Scale wasn't working here. She was just really trying to get direction. So she was doing things like that. So proportion is difficult for these kids. They tend to emphasise what's important to them and they flatten it. So what actually helps them to move them to the next step? So if this is where they get stuck, this is where do we go from there? Well, actually we do this sort of thing. In kindergarten, preschool, year 1, 2, doesn't matter when, you build maps if you can. If you have the space in your classroom, build maps. You build maps so they can play in them. Now, luckily we've got 3D these days and we can do it through the whiteboard. They can get the idea of moving around places through the interactive whiteboard. So you've got that, but you need to get the maps out and build and get into them. Year 1, we were looking at our local community. So what did we do? We got out some huge pieces of cardboard boxes and we painted roads. We then built houses on them. We put their house on them. And we put the shops, we built that out of Lego and put it on there. And the Lego they needed that for something else, so they then changed it into a cardboard box and decorated it and made the local shops. But for the rest of the term, my year 1 kids got in and drove cars around that space, trucks, fire engines, went for walks. They got all the Lego people out playing. That sort of thing. You can do that sort of thing with them. Very important to move, help their mapping move on, do that. We've also got, I was in doing, it's called Storyline. It's a different way of looking at HSS or science units. And we were in Scotland and we were in a new estate area. And what we were doing with the children there, we decided that they were going to, again, look at their local community. That was in the curriculum. And they did. They built the local community, but they also built the new estate coming in next to them, because a lot of them were in brand new houses and going forward into other spaces. The shops were just starting to be developed. So again, we built it. And they built little cars they could drive around and everything. But it was actually a really good thing, because what we were doing, we were also looking at not just our community in terms of a geographical sense, we were also looking at people who help us in our community and people who work with us in our community. So we were starting to integrate HSS. So what we did, we left the teachers, we actually built a few empty houses. They were just getting built in the new estate. And things could happen in those houses. We actually had, one of the teachers lived in the estate, in the area, and what they had happened in their house, they had their video player stolen. So we had to get the police in. And we'd arranged for the police to come. And what happened after recess, everything was fine before recess. After recess, oh my God, that house had been vandalised. And so the kids, what do you do? We ring the police. Okay, the kids got on the phone. We had a number they could ring. They rang the police. They turned up within 10 minutes. And they came in and fingerprinted every child to make sure they hadn't stolen what happened in that house. So they were learning about the police and what the police do in the community. Worked out it was one of the other teachers that got jealous and decided to do the job. We also had, they walked in after lunch one day and one of the houses was on fire. And they were, oh my gosh, it's going to spread everywhere. You know, they knew straight away, ring the fire department. Well, this scared the teachers more than the kids, I think, but they burst through the side door with their hose, ready to, you know. And again, they talked about fire safety and what the fire department does in that community. So you're starting to integrate and do that sort of thing. Build maps they can play in. Really starts helping direction, place, locality, things like that. This is another one. This just happened at home one day. This is when this little one's now 18 years old, so quite a bit later. This was Ali playing in our driveway. Okay, with her mapping. Might take the light down just a little bit there. So you can probably see the colours more. Okay. She was 9. What was important to her? Well, her uncle owned discount tyres. So that was very important down here at the beginning, here. This one, hair, shoes and makeup. That's all she's interested in, still is. Was when she was 9. Supre was extremely important. So there it went. But guess what we started getting? We're in the Tuggeranong Valley. Have a look. Western Creek, let's see if I can point it out. Western Creek, she got where it is compared to us. She got one plaza where it is to us. She's starting to get the directionality at a bigger scale from that nested hierarchy. This is the Hyperdome, all out of proportion, but she's starting to get that nested hierarchy idea. Again, chalk on a footpath. You can do it. Guess what we ended up doing at 15? Working at this place here.